What's up, folks? How we doing tonight? So, I was asked by a subscriber to talk a little bit about drop tunings. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do some chord shapes. And he was wanting to know about how to make it sound good. I'm currently drop D tuning. So, let's go to clean real fast. Just click that button, turn the volume up. I'm going to put it in standard. Alright, so standard G. Now, drop D tuning. People talk about detuning. Detuning means you drop the entire guitar down. A whole step, half step, step and a half, 2 steps. We're going to go to drop D tuning. So drop D. Make it match your D string. Tune it down to D. And now we're in drop D. Of course, you know the D chord. Everyone knows the D chord. D chord there, D sus, D minor, and then D7. Hold on, let me get D7. It's kind of been a while. D7 right there. Then of course D minor here. And now we got your regular power chords, only requires one finger. You want to do a ninth? Like an add 9 chord? Add the D string in on 2 frets up. With the octave. And he was talking about how you make it sound good with distortion and stuff like that. Now, I have my normal metal tone. Now with this tuning, with drop D, you're not particularly super low yet. So gain structures, when you're tuned super low, like drop C, drop B, step and a half down, you might not want to have as much in your face gain. Because sometimes you'll lack articulation, you know? I just used that as an example. You may not be able to hear these notes. So let's go to my not so distorted, not so in your face distortion and see what we get. You can play a lot of cool stuff with this, man. Regardless of your gain structures, you know, I particularly, because I'm a Lamb of God fan, I particularly like a lot of, like, tight, you know, super rigid gain. You know, that kind of stuff. We'll put that pick down. Grab a John Petrucci Jazz 3 here. Drop D, you can get away with any gain structure that you want to use, and clean as well. Now, lower tuning, also with clean, you might get some flubbiness. You know, your notes might not sound as clear and articulate as you'd like them to. A good thing to do with that, if you experience that when you tune drop C or anything below drop D here, grab you a compressor on your clean signal, your clean channel. Kick that compressor on, it will bring out those notes. So, what kind of stuff can you play? Got this octave note here of D. Then you can play this ninth chord. Wait, hold on. Then, of course, you know, there's the Lamb of God way of doing it. That's a good thing too. Kind of that. I learned that from punk rock. You know, you do this kind of. You lead into your power chord. Like a Fall Out Boy. Very cool. Drop D is fun, man, and you can experiment scales and stuff. A little bit more complicated because this string is dropped down a whole step. So when you do your pentatonics, you know, we all know, all of a sudden it doesn't work because you don't have an E up here. So what must you do to make that happen? Let's see. Wrong thing, hold on. You gotta move it up 2 frets. All of your scales, anything you play, you'll have to move your first 3 notes, 2 notes, whatever it is, up 2 frets. This is really cool too. This is a Lamb of God thing as well. Now let's go to clean. Let's go to clean. Do a little bit of something with that. There's one Fall Out Boy song. I use them a lot when I'm teaching people drop D tuning because they have a lot of songs in drop D. But this opening part here to Thriller. Come on, finger. And then there's the G chord, right? You can't do a G chord in drop D. It's like, ooh, that sounds bad, right? G chord and drop D. You have these 2 notes. And everyone knows what you're going to do with your index finger. And then you add your ring and your pinky finger on the top 2 strings, or bottom 2 strings of the 5th fret. And there's your G chord. And you can also do this kind of a thing with it. It's kind of like your fifth and the bass power chords, you know. Now, another thing that might affect your drop D experience here. Regular 1046 gauge strings will work fine for drop D. These that I have on this guitar are 1048. So I have a little thicker up here to get that low D to have some tension on it. And of course, you can go 1052 if you want it to be ultra, stable. Because tuning can be affected without locking tuners. You do a big bend like that. You're probably going to go out of tune if you don't have locking tuners on your guitar. Thicker string gauges will help that on the low end. Let's see if I can do it tonight. I cannot do it. Those octave chords there are octave shapes. I hope that helps on getting drop D down. We may keep it going here in just a second here, but I can switch guitars real fast. Now you'll have to bear with me here. I'm going to switch my guitar and we'll go into drop C, which all the same concepts apply. It's just a different sort of sound because you're tuned lower. So let me get all this situated and get my guitar out. I gotta get out the Ibanez. Oh man. We got sent home early from work today because of the storm coming through Georgia here. And boy, she got bad. She got bad earlier, man. It was hailing and all kinds of stuff over here. get this thing locked on up here. Make sure we got all the locks. Oh, we forgot one. I'll set this guitar back in the corner where I keep it over here. And let me grab my Prestige. I should have already had the guitar out, right? But you know what? I don't have time for that. Let me get this thing out over here. I haven't had her out in a good minute anyway. It's about time we do that. It may or may not be in tune. I don't really know for sure. But I guess we'll find out. Ooh, damage. That wasn't good. Not on a $1,400 guitar. I oiled my fretboard, polished my frets up on the thing, man. She's in ready to rock condition now, boy. Okay, so drop C. You will tune the entire guitar down a whole step. And then go into drop D again. What is this pick? Oh, let me get one of these picks. So, I'm in drop C now. That's still a G chord, still a G shape, but it's not a G chord anymore. We have went down a whole step from G. So that would be an A. This would be a C major now. Now this tuning, yes, you will want to change your string gauge. You may possibly need to adjust your neck depending on what string gauge you change to. And intonation will definitely be affected. Because this is set right now with 11 to 54 Ernie Ball Beefy Slinky. That's what I use for drop C tuning. And if you're using gauges that thick for drop C, you're going to most likely have this as a rhythm guitar instrument. It's not going to be lead friendly much. You know, like, that's the wrong freaking one. This is the one I want. You can still do it, but it's going to tire you out really fast. So this could be where you might not want as much gain in your sound. I mean, I can get the kill switch engaged, you know. I can get that happening, but if I were to take some of that distortion out and some of that mid scoop out, what will we get? Then we can bring the volume out with my pedal here and then start to engage the pedal until we get a lower volume. Now you still got a really good, clear sound. But if you kick on all that distortion and that low gain, the notes are almost undecipherable unless you crank her up. Now this also has locking tuners, so the thickness of the string gauge is going to be rock solid tuning. It does take more for your lower strings to stretch when you use thicker gauge strings, so be prepared for that. But you're going to get much better tension. You're going to be able to feel as though you're in standard tuning with a drop C instrument, even though you're tuned down a whole step and then an extra step with this low string. And you can still use the whole, you know, still use that all day long. You can still do lead-ins to your power chords. Chug it all day. You can still do your weird ninth chord. You can add further to that with see, sometimes you get tripped up on that because this string is so thick, you may not be used to it yet. And I haven't played this guitar in a while, so you'll push the string up over the fretboard. I got super low action, which is probably, you'll probably want to raise your action a little bit if you're using a thicker gauge string, so you're not slamming the frets like I am here. A lot of people really like drop D because it simplifies a lot of things. You no longer have to do this shape for your power chords because it don't work. You do. G chord's a little more complicated. D chord's the same. Now your C chord here. What'll happen if we do the old put the G in the bass? Whoa! That sounds like garbage, okay. Let's just add this. There's only certain places this works. Then there's this whole thing. Then of course this works in drop D as well. This is a Shadows Fall kind of thing. We got this whole C chord. And then you have, I think this is how they play it. Let's see. You gotta remember this chord. It's a kill switch chord. There it is. Very awesome, man. And then, of course, my curse thing. I can't name these chords. I don't know the theory behind them, but... And then we got this chord, which is a pain to switch to. And then your normal 7th chord, minor 7. that translate to underneath it? So Joel will be playing. While Adam is playing. And what else was I going to do? Oh, there's another great kill switch piece in here too. D minor chord. I always do neck pickup for clean. Then it's like a C here, but you're going to have your bottom half of your F chord on the bottom. And then your normal B flat. How many of you old metalcore fans can recognize that song, huh? I'm hoping this helps you, man. The one that asked for this video. I'm a metal guitarist, and I know, you may not want to play this kind of thing, but this is just what I have learned from using drop tunings. Super simple. We're not trying to hate here, but super simple would be like Metallica's Some Kind of Monster. I can't even play that stuff anymore, man. And you can do some cool riffing with it. You can do some really cool riffing. You just gotta sit down, start putting your fingers down and experiment. You can still do your modes. You can do Phrygian with it. And you can probably do Lydian. That would be C Lydian technically. But as I said, you will have to, if you're gonna start on this string, you're gonna have to move everything up 2 frets. And let's do some more clean things. Let's do Fall Out Boy. What if Fall Out Boy tuned down? Yeah, to drop C. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? But mainly drop C stuff I know is like Kill Switch Engage. I know some Shinedown, a little bit of Shinedown. Let's see. technically start you in D. But I used to know that whole song, but I can't remember it. But then you can experiment with power chord transitions, like But that's about all I know to really talk about much. Like my clean, it's got a compressor built into it through the programming of my unit here, my boss. So it's got all the notes clearly defined. So if you're using a software, an amp sim, something like this here, like through your computer, like Guitar Rig or something, you're gonna be good. But if you're using straight amp, you might want to put a compressor in front of your drop C guitar. So I hope that helps to the subscriber and anyone else that may watch this. Tomorrow we will do a whole step down tuning and 7-string. So take care, thanks for watching, and keep it metal out there.